In today's video, I'm gonna show you what I keep in my saddlebag. And I got this video idea from Authur. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, he's another cycling YouTuber and he's got a great channel. I'll link his channel in the description and you can go take a look if you're interested. But he recently did a video on what he keeps in his saddlebag. And one of the things that he has in there is this. And I'm gonna tell you why I completely disagree, and I think this thing is useless. And if you don't know what this is, I'm gonna explain what it is. I haven't posted a video in a really long time, at least 3 weeks. My whole family got really sick. We all got some stomach flu. We were all throwing up. Then we got COVID. And I got COVID right after I crashed. I was on the bike path in Tucson and an older gentleman just pulled a U-turn right in front of me. Didn't even look. Nothing I could do. I hit him, I fell. Luckily, nothing happened to my bike, but I did get some bruised ribs. And if you haven't had bruised ribs, it's brutal. It's 2 weeks. And I got COVID. So I'm coughing all the time and it's killing my ribs. But interesting, what happened on the crash, I had a gentleman come up to me, hand me his business card, and he's like, yo, call me. You should sue that guy because he saw that he pulled right in front of me without looking. I don't need to get involved with that stuff. I let it go. He left. It was fine. Went home. That is why I haven't uploaded a video in a while. But I'm back and I'm gonna be doing at least 1 to 2 videos a week. I got a lot of cool stuff coming. I have my Amonda and my Madone back there. I'm gonna be racing those bikes uphill on the flats. I'm also gonna be comparing the new Dura Ace 9270 to the old 9170. I got a couple new ideas for that. If you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I had this huge goal of doing 420 watts for 20 minutes. I'm close. I think I can do it. I'm gonna be making that attempt in the next month or so. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button. So before I show you what I have in my saddlebag, I'm gonna talk about saddlebags in general. And I have this Bontrager one. I've tried all the different saddlebags. I've tried this style, and I don't think it matters what brand you have, but this style where it kind of hangs and goes around the seat post and it has a zipper on the back. The reason I like this is I wanna be able to open it and get into it quick. Now, I've tried the one where it's just a strap and I hated that because it came loose and stuff fell out. I didn't like that, just the strap thing at all. I think S-Works sells that one. I'll put a picture of it up. I ordered the new Silka one where it wraps around the bottom. I'm gonna give that one another shot. But what I don't like about the ones that wrap around the entire saddlebag is when you wanna get into it, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. You gotta take the whole bag off. I find that a bit irritating, but I'm gonna try it again because I do like that it's more compact. If you hit a bump, this thing isn't banging all over the place. So I'm gonna give that one another shot. But for now, this is the one I've been using. In terms of the brand, like I said, there's hundreds of different brands, hundreds of different saddlebags, and they all work. It depends on what you like. The way I like to pack my saddlebag is I like to have my multi-tool the first thing accessible, because this is the thing that I find I use the most, even if I don't have a flat. I want to adjust the derailleur, maybe adjust the set, anything. I'm pulling this thing out, you got a buddy needs it. I want to be able to get to this quick. Now, before we get more into the saddlebag, I got to tell you something really important that I learned the hard way. You want to make sure that you've used your multi-tool before you stuff it in your saddlebag and get out on the road. I made the mistake with this one. This one's super light. You can see they got these cutouts here. So I just stuffed it in my saddlebag and I'm like, all right, this looks like a cool new one. I'm gonna try it. The problem, I have this type of axle. And this is the 6mm socket, and you can see the steel behind the socket is bigger than the hex part itself. And this, I can't get it in there deep enough. It doesn't want to, like, it needs to go in there much deeper or it slips off. So I had to use this multi-tool and it goes in. See how much deeper that goes in? Now it's seated. Let's put my finger there. See, that's how deep it goes in. How deep it wants to go in, and that's all I have there, right? So you can see it's almost 3 times the depth of that. So anyways, I got out there and I got this thing and I can't get the axle off to deal with my flat. You see, obviously right off the bat, I got some Bontrager stuff here. That's because I have a relationship with my local bike shop, and to me it's important to support my local bike shop. So that's why you're gonna see some Bontrager stuff here. All right, so let's get into the bag. I got one tube. Here's one. Very important with these tubes, you wanna make sure that your valve is long enough for your wheel. There's many times I've been out there and I've seen other guys where they don't have the right size valve. It's too short and they put it in the rim and they can't get the valve on it to pump it up. So make sure you have the right valve size. I always carry 2. Next thing I carry is 2 CO2s, and I'm gonna tell you why I carry 2 in a minute. And then the only other thing I carry is a valve. You might ask why I carry 2. I mean, it might be obvious, 2 flats. Here's the issue that I found is sometimes it's very rare to get a flat on the front and a flat on the back, unless you hit like some big pothole and it takes out both tires. But what has happened to me many times is I try to fix the flat and then it goes flat again. So if I fix the flat and then it goes flat again, I gotta stop what I'm doing, slow everything down. I'm in no rush to find what's causing the flat, because that gives me an extra chance, because I have the extra CO2 and the extra tube, it gives me now one more chance to find that flat. And I've had that happen to me so many times where I'm out there, put the tube in, and boom, it goes flat again because I didn't find the little piece of metal or thorn that was in the tire or whatever it was. As I mentioned, I don't like these things. I've tried them many times, they don't work. Sometimes with tubeless tires, you get a hole so big that the sealant doesn't fill it. And so this is like a patch for sealant tires, and it's just like a tire on a car. And so what you do is you take out this little piece, and I've tried this thing 5 or 6 times, and I actually tried it a couple days ago with this tire, and you can see here's the hole that was in the tire. And the way this thing works is you're supposed to stick it in the hole like that, and use those ribs there to like clean the tire. You put it in there, you rub it back and forth like this to clean the tire. And then you get one of these strips. It's like a glue strip. So you put that little glue strip in there like that. So you push it through like that. So some is hanging out. You want to push it down all the way, and then you pull it out, and then you can see that's supposed to plug the hole. And what you do is you can cut that piece off, you don't cut it off, I don't know. I've tried it every way. I've never had any luck with it. So I had this tire, I cut this piece so I could show you how it works. What happens is I've tried it where I left it on. If you leave this on, as it rolls, the road just pulls it out. If you cut it, it just pushes it in. So I have found these things useless. I love David Authur, but don't waste your time or money with those plugs. Here's what you do. If you get a big hole in your tire, all you do is treat it like a regular clincher. The problem though is you're gonna get sealant everywhere. You take the tire off, you find out, it'll be easy to find out where the hole is because you'll see the sealant coming out, and you put something behind the hole, like a folded up dollar bill or a gel wrapper. You put the tube in and you pump it up like you would any other clincher tire. And then the tire's done, in my opinion. You gotta go buy a new tire if you wanna reset it up tubeless. You could try these patches where you put them behind the tire. If it's a brand new tire and you get completely unlucky and you put a hole in it, you could come home, clean the back off of the tire. You clean the inside off the tire. You use a special sandpaper and you put these patches on. And then you can try that, but even the patches, I find they stick through. I find that if you're running tubeless and you get a big hole in the tire, a big gash, you're taking a risk. I haven't had much luck with those patches or the hole filler things. I find that the 2 tubes, the 2 CO2s, the multi-tool, and the valve, and any of these valves, they all work the same. I got this one that I've been using, but they're all great. You can get whichever one is easiest for you. Now, as you heard me say earlier, I support local bike shops. I try to buy as much stuff as I can at the local bike shop, but some stuff, like these CO2s, I buy on Amazon. I think you can get 20 CO2s for 30 bucks. I think they sell them in the bike shops for like $8 a CO2. if you go through a lot of CO2s like I do between my wife and I riding a couple different bikes, definitely go check out on Amazon. With this stuff, I try and keep it as simple as possible. And I'll tell you a quick story before we end the video. There's a guy in my area, he's an older gentleman, and he's crazy about cycling. He's got like multiple TT bikes, a hilly TT bike, a flat course TT bike. He's got all the gear, and he rides tubular tires. And instead of riding with a saddlebag and CO2s, he rides around with an extra tire. And I've actually seen him get a flat, pull the tubular off, and stick the new tubular on. To me, that is just crazy. Those, like, I don't ride tubular tires because they're just too much of a pain in the ass for me. Now, there's always an exception. I got another buddy, if he's going out to do a segment or he's racing, he'll put his tubular wheels on and go out, but knowing that he might get a flat and have to call his girlfriend, that's fine. I just wouldn't recommend riding around on a tubular tire for all of your training rides because you could get in trouble. I like simple, and I like making sure that when I'm out there, I can get out and get back on my own. Because like I said, calling your wife, your girlfriend, your parents, when you're out there 60K from home and having to sit on the side of the road for an hour waiting for someone to pick you up is real crappy. So I find this is the best setup to make sure that doesn't happen. But the most important thing to make sure you don't get stuck on the side of the road is to make sure you're running tires that have tread on them. You keep your equipment in good shape. You check your tires on a regular basis to make sure there's nothing in them, and that will help you the most so you don't get caught out on the side of the road. I've been pretty lucky. I've only had to make a call a couple times, and those times were kind of my fault because I was rushing doing the tube replacement and stuff like that. And that's the other big advice I could give is if you do get a flat, slow down, act like you got all the time in the world, figure out what caused the flat before you put in the tube. That's huge. And then just really take your time, because if you run out of tubes, it is pretty crappy. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please comment, please like. I got more videos coming down the pipe. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. I'll see you soon. Bye.